40 journalists from 9 African countries, including Rwanda, are discussing various topics related to 2015 Paris Agreement. The agreement includes the will of the countries in dealing with the effects of climate change. Scientists say that Africa has great opportunities for producing renewable energy because it is affordable.
And so the best way for us to address, the sustainable energy access challenge will be to transition to renewables and tap the incredible potential that is available across the continent. Look at where we are now, lovely sunlight. We can easily tap solar energy and be able to power our lives and our communities using solar power. We have a huge opportunity if only we grasped it and accelerated the transition and used it to power our lives and our economies.
Statistics indicate that half of African countries face the effects of climate change, yet this continent accounts for 4% of global greenhouse gas. Some of the topics that were discussed in this conference of the countries that have signed the Paris Agreement includes looking at the pledge of developed countries to the developing countries because of their role in polluting the climate. Some African journalists say that the fact this conference is going to be held on the African continent should be an opportunity for them to create different stories about what is expected to be said in this conference. The journalists who are discussing on this meeting, which is known as the Conference of Parties, C0P, which is going to be held on the 27th time, are the ones who are used to covering environmental stories.
I think it's quite interesting that for the first time in 6 years, the C0P is returning to Africa. And it gives us an opportunity as Africa to take charge of our narrative. Previously, every time you've had stories about climate change, it's about a flood that has swept away hundreds of people in Africa, or about a drought in Kenya, in the Horn of Africa, that is decimating livestock, 50 million people in the Horn of Africa starving. Those are the kind of stories you see in international media. But it gives us an opportunity now, the COP coming here gives us an opportunity now as Africans to not just tell you about the doom and gloom, or even if we do tell you the doom and gloom, we tell it to you through our perspective as Africa.
The Executive Secretary of the Rwanda Media Commission, RMC, Emmanuel Mugisha, notes that this is the time to have enough information about this international conference, especially since some will attend this conference physically.
We feel it's important for the journalists to be prepared, to be engaged, so that they can also engage their audiences. So out of this need, we had to plan this conference, and people are learning, and it's like opening up their eyes to see that there is more to cover when it comes to environment and climate change issues.
It's the 27th annual meeting of the countries that have signed the Paris Agreement, which is scheduled to be held in Egypt from 6th to 18th of November this year, which is the second time it is going to take place on the African continent, where the last one took place in Glasgow, Scotland.